So the question is, why are people still opposed to the government investing in our national infrastructure? Let's ask Austin Petersen, Libertarian commentator and director of production at FreedomWorks. Hey, Austin.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you with us. What is it about the difference between spending and investment that libertarians don't get?
Well, because nobody said that that roads are actually an investment. You have to understand, if you know how capitalism works, so if you know how that works, then roads, where we're going, Tom, we don't need roads. And you have to understand that in our advanced economy today, that there's a lot of reason not to have roads. And
capitalism is going to give us all a George Jetson.
That's right, absolutely, absolutely. And if you look
jetpacks,
right, and if you look at North Korea, if you think that roads build an economy, they have plenty of wide open 8-lane highways, but they have no commerce with which to drive on those roads. Yeah. So it isn't really technically investment. You have to have a demand before you can actually invest in something, and you have to save money before you can spend it. So that's how that works.
So you're suggesting that I don't understand how North Korea got into this.
Well, you see, they have 8-lane highways, they have all these national infrastructure projects. They invest all sorts of money into building their economy through building of roads, and they think that that is the way to build it. It's the Keynesian fallacy. They think that by paying workers to dig holes and then fill them back in, that you're stimulating the economy. But what you get are projects like the Bridge to Nowhere and the Big Dig in Boston, which is still bleeding money.
Nobody in America, no rational person, I mean, this is such a straw man. No rational person is saying, gee, let's emulate North Korea.
Right. Well,
except
the thing
you,
is, well,
apparently.
Well, no.
You're saying let's not emulate North Korea. I'm saying, why even talk about North Korea? Let's look at the United States of America.
This is the worst time that we could possibly invest in infrastructure, because we are in a recession. And what happens is when you're in a recession, the price system is skewed. So, and because government, when they make an investment, they can never make a good investment anyway because they don't have a profit incentive.
Oh, nonsense. So that's absolute bull. Again, you have not differentiated the difference between, and I don't think you understand the difference between investment and spending.
Well, it's not
an investment produces a return.
Right.
You get that. You get the return back. You make back more than you put in.
Right, but you have to withhold spending before you can invest. That's why the government is not doing that. Because
no, you don't.
Because you have to allocate capital properly. Right now, we have a misallocation of capital. Well, you have a recession happening right now. People who are hurting right now in this country.
So all the more reason to invest that capital right now.
But it doesn't mean that. Yes, but let the private citizens invest it how they will. The government can't invest that properly, especially with interest rates as they are. As you understand right now, as interest rates are so low, Tom. And I know
this is the perfect time for government.
But you're probably not a big fan of the big corporatist Federal Reserve who are keeping artificial interest rates low.
This is a perfect
and we have pricing signals that are totally misallocated. If we were to start spending on infrastructure now, the government could be investing wildly, willy-nilly, all over the place, and you would never know if you could get a return on investment. So investment means that you have a profit. Let me
just understand this. China can have, brand new high-speed rails, super good infrastructure, great roads. Everything is, it's amazing how modern it is. I was there in the 80s, and you look at it now, but we can't afford that because we're too broke.
Japan has better roads, though, Tom. Japan has better roads than China. And guess what they did? They liberalized. They instituted a policy of laissez-faire when it came to their transportation policies. They're building a 300 mile per hour magnetic levitating train right now. They're going to blow away China and the United States, and it's totally privatized. That's what Japan did. That was the mistake.
I guarantee you that is not totally privatized.
Yes, it is. The Japan National Railways were privatized in 1987. They were able to pay back their construction debt and make capital improvements. Tom, listen. To their networks, they reversed their stagnation and decline that the Japanese National Railways
You saw the same thing with Deutsche Bahn, but that's just one piece of a larger infrastructure, and
who wants to live in China versus Japan?
It was already built there. No, but my point is that what I hear you saying is that America shouldn't be doing this. We can't afford this.
No.
I guarantee you, the Japanese railroad, just like Deutsche Bahn in Germany, could not have been privatized had it not been built in the first place.
Tom,
in England, they privatized the railroads, and then they deprivatized them because it was such a horrible failure.
French philosopher Frédéric Bastiat said that socialists confuse the distinction between government and society. You have to understand that just because I don't want the government doing something, it doesn't mean that I don't want it to be done. There's a famous hero of India by the name of Dashraj Manji. He built his own road, 16-foot wide passage in 22 years because his wife broke his ankle. Saved people from an 8-kilometer trip to it used to be a 50-kilometer trip to go through the mountains of India.
So the hope for America is to hope that capitalists like yourself
they were hoping that the government was going to come and build that road.
Or build
in Hawaii 3 years ago, businesses and residents of Hawaii Island of Kauai, they were in trouble. There was a local road dependent on tourism. It was totally flooded. The government wouldn't fix it.
This is all
private
great
corporations
stuff,
and small businesses came in and fixed it.
And you're going to do this with an interstate interstate highway system.
No, I'm not unnecessarily. What I'm going to do it with is the private initiative citizens who need these
Austin,
roads.
we're out of time. I'm looking forward to the jetpack.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, Austin Petersen. Now to the continued battle over Obama.